The Henley Business School South Africa, which is the African arm of Henley Business School in the United Kingdom, recently conducted a report about comparisons in real estate markets in Europe versus South Africa against the backdrop of the current tough economic conditions globally. And I spoke to Professor Ginny Gibson, who's the Deputy Dean of Henley Business School UK and Professor of Corporate Real Estate. If we're looking at the real estate markets and you're looking at emerging economies and developed economies, what's the big difference? Is there a big difference?
I don't think from my perspective there really is a big difference. There's really more similarities than there are differences. So if you think about it, the nature of the demand for real estate is the same wherever you go. So people need places to live, places to work, places to shop, and organizations have to run their businesses. The real estate markets are more developed or more mature, and there's more institutional structures in place probably in some of the more developed markets. But even in the emerging markets, that's coming very quickly with the globalization.
The coping strategies in both markets then, very similar because of the global economic turndown?
Yeah, absolutely. And particularly when you think about both in the way the governments are trying to intervene and the whole issue about how much they should be investing in infrastructure on the one hand, and then you've got the global key occupiers who are still living with the challenges of the economic global downturn and the pressure that has on their space requirements and the kind of space challenges that they have. And I guess the third one is with the whole technology and mobility, and it was interesting, I was listening to debate even here in South Africa about, where are people working? They wander around with their iPhones and laptops and whatever, and therefore, where does work take place? And that's an issue that's being debated worldwide.
When we talk about green building strategies, and I think many people would agree we would all love to be more green and carbon friendly, but how do you teach a country that is so reliant on infrastructure to provide employment, the production of materials, to green the whole industry? It's a very difficult thing to educate people into that.
Yeah, it is, and it's as much about behaviors as it is about, the process of the construction and so on. And in some senses, until there's the real bite of, for instance, energy costs going up through the roof, those are the things that actually drive behavior change. And that's certainly what we've seen in the UK. And I guess the other one is the extent to which the government is going to intervene in some way to provide incentives for people to be greener than they have been in the past. So whether that's through tax or positive incentives to get people to invest in solar energy in their housing, for instance, those are the kind of initiatives, I think, that help change behavior, and that's what we need.
What is the key message you have to South Africa in terms of educating the property and build industry professionals?
I think the key message is that in order to really develop solid, sustainable infrastructure in the built environment, you really need high-quality professionals, people who actually see the strategic picture and can start to think about the way in which organizations are changing, and therefore the demands on infrastructure have changed. And in order to do that, you really do have to have some high-level thinking skills, which, it's great to get all that technical background, but somehow we have to get people to think about these problems in a rather different way.
Professor Ginny Gibson, Deputy Dean of Henley Business School, United Kingdom, and Professor of Corporate Real Estate, thank you for speaking to us on Classic Business.